I'd like to call to order this regular meeting of the City of Sebastian Natural Resource Board, Tuesday, March 4th. If we could, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Can we get an approval of minutes from the February 4th meeting? Oh, I apologize. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Can we have roll call, please?
Present. Here.
I'm here.
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 Thank you. Back on track. Can I get a motion for the approval of minutes from February 4th?
I make a motion that we approve the minutes from February 4th, 2025. I see we carried that mistake over.
Yes. And is there a second for that approval of minutes?
I'll second that.
Okay. And with an aye vote for approval of this action?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays for not approving? Okay, the minutes are approved. And moving on to number 5, announcements. And we have some announcements today. And well, first let's do your question. Do you have a question that you wanted to do? We can do it right now, can't we? Yeah, go right ahead. We'll do that right on the way.
Okay, so I'll make this as brief as I can. I've been doing some work on my goals, and one of them was to create a poll and for the citizens of Sebastian to fill out. And what I was hoping was that if any of you folks, you have your own areas and goals that you're championing. I'd be interested to see if you have any questions that you would like on the poll regarding your particular areas. If you do, if you could please send them to Felicia, and that way everybody will have an opportunity to, if you have something you want to ask on your thing, it'll be in the poll. Okay, that's it.
Felicia, can we put that on next month's agenda?
I guess my question to you would be, do we want to include this on next month's agenda or the May agenda? Just because next month's agenda will be the last agenda before Earth Day, and we most likely won't be discussing.
I don't think it would take that long. We could probably squeeze it in, if you don't mind, squeeze it in next month's agenda.
Sure.
If you can get those questions to us or whatever you thought of beforehand, so we can take a look at them, and then it'll save some time when we come in.
And maybe have a list of them for our next meeting so we could have them for Earth Day.
Okay. Just so everybody knows, I did submit them to Felicia, and they're my first draft, but I really would like you folks to say, oh, I like that one. Hey, I've got one I'd like to add, et cetera. Then it becomes the Natural Resources Board poll rather than.
So maybe we can get those distributed in an email and take a look at them.
That may be possible. I'll look into it, make sure that there's no boundaries that we're
Right.
crossing, but otherwise then, if it is acceptable, then yeah, you will receive those via email.
Excellent.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Do you want me to do the announcements?
Continue, yes.
Okay. Announcement number 1, as of February 11th, 2025, Ms. Sharita Billman has tendered her resignation from the Natural Resource Board to pursue other opportunities. As of February 12th, 2025, Ms. Laura Thompson was appointed by City Council as a regular member of the Natural Resource Board, filling the vacancy left by Sharita Billman's absence. There are currently 2 open alternate member positions of the Natural Resources Board. Mr. Dan Brogan may be attending this meeting via Zoom tonight, as he is able. Number 5, at the February 26, 2025 City Council meeting, the Sustainable Sebastian Action Plan 2.0 was approved. Yay! Post-Earth Day and Arbor Day celebration staff is to schedule meetings with each of the board members on the goals they are championing. Okay. Does anybody have any questions on any of that so far? And number 6, city staff has made headway in the Garden Club Park native landscaping project, which started with Miss Sharita Billman as part of Sustainable Sebastian Initiative 2. Tim and Anna Harrison and their team at Native Butterfly Flowers will be installing the plants next week. Okay, great. Is there any work that we have to do on any of that?
Nothing required from the Natural Resources Board, although once the project is done, we welcome you to take a look and see how it turned out. And now, of course, a lot of the plants will be small and they'll be young, and there'll be quite an establishment period. And at least for the trees will take a few years to fully establish. But the shrubbery and the ground covers will take much less time to establish. So we'll be keeping tabs on those as they grow, and we hope that this will be a nice pilot project for other opportunities going forward.
Excellent. Okay, that's all the announcements we have. Anybody else have anything they want to add? Okay, not seeing anything. Move on to number 6, agenda modifications. Are there any agenda modifications needed for tonight? Okay, not seeing any. We'll move on to number 7, public input. Is anybody from the public would like to speak? Go right ahead.
Hello, I'm Brent, and you probably got my
Hi, Brent. What's your last name, sir?
Wallenberg.
Brent Wallenberg.
Yeah.
And does he need to say his address? No, I have. Okay.
Yeah, it's German. I can go into. But I apologize for being the only person at your natural resource meeting again.
Well, we're glad you're here.
But I thought about it, and would it be better to listen to one person who is implementing a sound plan to restore your lagoon and bring tens of millions of revenue into Sebastian, or have this room packed with people who will say or do anything to get you to waste taxpayers' dollars?
Right.
And believe me, I've seen that. Right now, people are bumming because their job is really just a waste of taxpayers' dollars. But I would like to think of it as a time of transition. I hope everybody out there is listening. New jobs people will love doing because they will see with their eyes unbelievable positive results. Henry Flagler removed all the shell from St. Augustine to Miami, and it needs to be put back. I put 200 crabs around 8 different fish cleaning tables here locally, and they ran off the unedible catfish. This needs to be done throughout the state. Like I say, they when it's overrun with catfish, you can see them wiping out the babies. Little schools, it's springtime, and little schools of baby redfish, snook, everything are everywhere, and the catfish are like a Hoover vacuum cleaner. And another thing is, it's like, I'll go into the chemistry that went on the shore. It was self-cleaning. After this storm here, where the shells are back on the shore, it will be crystal clear. The water will clear up, and that's a chemical reaction, a cleaning reaction going on the shore. Calcium carbonate, CaCO3, and the CO2 dissolves into the water or as foam, but that O1 going into the water speeds the chemistry between your pee and poop meets harmless calcium chloride salt. It's pretty third grade, and some really cool stuff I've seen over the years. I lived in Waynesville, Missouri, and I noticed the water, hydrogen peroxide has a bluish color, and I noticed we had a big spring that would boil and it would be blue.
Yep, 30 seconds.
But when the rains would come, it would like boil up muddy, and then it would settle down maybe once a year, and it'd settle down, and then it would be blue again. And that same chemistry is cleaning the water. And like Zephyr Hills water, you ever noticed how it really tastes clean? But anyway, I hope I've covered a lot of bases in just I can sit and talk for a long time because it's a big story.
That's okay. That's why we put this clock up here. Organization you may want to also talk to is ORCA, Orca down in Vero. They're the ones doing the restoration work. And they do actually a lot of work putting stuff in the lagoon as well. And they would like to hear from you as well.
Well, actually, they need to have a big cleanup because it's all over the place. Don't put plastic into the lagoon, and the oyster shells are in plastic bags.
Talk to them. Get some information from them, and they'd be right there who you need to talk to too.
Well, I've been talking to all of them
Oh, good, excellent.
for years.
Let's get a permit.
Well,
That's where we start though.
okay, it kind of, I've noticed that the fishermen, all the money, the fishermen, they're the ones that love the lagoon. They really, truly got their sweat and blood in it. And after the money's gone, these people will be gone because
Right.
their heart really isn't in it. So I think the money really needs to be diverted to the fishermen.
Well, we appreciate your time, Mr. Wallenberg.
Okay,
Greatly
thank you.
appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Is there any additional public input? Anybody on Zoom?
No, at this time.
Thank you. Not seeing any more public input. We'll close that. We'll move on to item 8, unfinished business. And item A and unfinished business, the Great Air Potato Roundup debrief. You like to debrief that?
Yes, thank you, Charles. So we'll just go over a few of the highlights of the event. Thank you to all of you who were able to participate on February 8th. It was a wonderful event. We had such a great turnout, and the partnership with the Pelican Island Audubon Society is one that we hope to continue to pursue in the future. We had upwards of 50 participants, and that number is purely based off of the online forms, or actually also the online and the paper forms that were filled out, but that is not including any of the younger participants who had waivers signed for them by their parents. Over 200 pounds of air potato bulbs and vines were collected, and these are just a few photos of our sample collections. There were many, many, many different sizes and odd shapes of air potatoes, which was one of the fun highlights of the event. So a lot of the kids were looking for different shapes or different sizes of air potatoes. One of my personal favorites, shape-wise, was one that came out, it happened to look like the letter F if you held it a certain way, so that was kind of unique. There were also ones that looked like little toadstools and just other odd sizes and shapes that you wouldn't normally expect to see. You're like, oh, it's just a potato, but no, they're not always shaped like potatoes. And some of our volunteers were gracious enough to help in assisting removing Brazilian pepper and some other invasive species from the park, which was wonderful. And as part of the event, for those of you who might not have been there, Audubon also set up a few signs indicating some other native and non-native plant species to help folks better identify plants when they are out and about in parks such as Stormwater Park. Pictured here, you'll see Jennifer Satterley from Audubon, and she is the environmental educator, and she is such a superstar, and we hope to work with her again in the future. And of course, Mr. Thomas Carano helping check in participants, and I'm kind of making a little, you'll see myself and Alex Bernard photo bombing that one in that photo, and then Mr. Matt Krause in the center, sitting pretty, doing some light reading while he's waiting for participants to come through. And our Mayor McParlin joined us for the event, which was wonderful, and we're grateful that he decided to attend and join us for the festivities. And so you'll see here, I'm actually giving him a stamp, and for anybody who wasn't there, the stamp was to check in anybody who came to the event. After they had checked in, we would stamp them to say, okay, yes, we have acknowledged that you are here and you have been accounted for. And Charles Hughes and Mike Barron from our Public Works Department were assigned to help us that day, and they even got in on some of the activities, so we're grateful for their help. And they helped drive away all the air potatoes in the truck, in the city vehicle that you saw in a few pictures back. And then our superstar, of the whole thing, Miss Donna Halloran of the Pelican Island Audubon Society in the rightmost photo, and she's incredible, and this would not have been possible without all of her help and guidance. And some wonderful other photos. You might see some familiar faces, such as Paul Halloran, who's Donna's husband, but he is on the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee, and Missy Weiss of Orca, and our friend Nikki Mosbleck, who used to be on the Natural Resources Board, are pictured here as well. And this is part of that staging area where Jen Satterley would give the educational talks from the event, helping orient people to what their goal was for the day. And this participant was one of those that was gracious enough to help start removing Brazilian pepper and some other invasives from the park. He did a lot of work going towards areas that weren't necessarily the air potato heavy areas, but some of the areas near that main entrance of the park were pretty heavily infested with some Brazilian pepper, so we're glad that that has been trimmed back a bit. Everyone is hard at work. And thank you to everyone for your hard work and your help that day and for your help getting the word out. And if anybody has any particular feedback on this that you'd like to discuss now, now's the time. Anything to help improve the event for future years.
Just one suggestion, because my friend Michelle attended that, and I think that maybe on your flyers or something, you should say bring cutters or something to help with the vines if you're doing this again, because it's a lot harder to pull the vines than if you're cutting them. So if you put it on the flyer, you know, bring protective gear and garden cutters. That might help. You might get more stuff out. That's all.
Any other questions on input for the air potato roundup?
I just wanted to say one thing. I was happy to participate. I think I had the 11 to 1 shift, if I remember, and it was significantly quieter than the morning shift, as that's the way I understood it. So maybe if we hold this event again, we might consider ways to sort of smooth out the attendance, because I guess in the morning they came as a rush, and you know that's kind of difficult to answer people's questions, etc. So, and my shift was pretty quiet. I mean, there weren't that many people who came at that time period. That's all. So, thank you.
Any other comments or questions? And thank everybody for participating. Thank you, Mayor McPartland, for being out there, and everybody from city staff. And it was a great event from what I could hear. Felicia, thanks for all your work being out there. Greatly appreciate it. Okay, moving on to item B, Earth Day and Arbor Day celebration. Yay! Will be Saturday, April 26, 2025. Do we have any comments or questions, Ms. Felicia?
Other than what I have here, and I'm happy to go over all of this, and then we can talk about any particular details that you all would like to discuss. To go over what is on this sheet, we are hosting the waste management, shredding, and electronic recycling event again at Riverview Park, but this time it will be held in the overflow parking lot as opposed to the Cavcor parking lot to the north. So the overflow parking lot is just south of the splash pad and the Veterans Memorial, and we are asking people to enter via Indian River Drive through that kind of southeast entrance of the overflow parking lot, and they will head through that loop to drop off any shredding that they have and for any of their electronics. Now, the spring cleaning event for the larger household goods will still be held at the Barber Street Sports Complex, and we are fortunate that we will be partnering with the Bike Walk of Indian River County again this year to collect bicycles that maybe can't be used anymore, or kind of run down, but they can either scrap for parts or that they can completely recycle and rehab in order to support local cyclists in the community. So we're really fortunate that they're interested in coming back out again, and they will also be attending the event as a booth organization. So they will have a spot in the park as well as being at Barber Street Sports Complex. And just to clarify, because I know this is a question that in my discussions with Bike Walk and Waste Management, the shredding event and the household waste event will both be held at the normal standard time as it has been in previous years. It'll be from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., which is a little different from when our window of the event is this year, because we did push the event back by an hour. So our celebration starts at 10 a.m., so that is one of the big differences this year as well. As part of our entertainment lineup, we're pleased that Ricky Ray has agreed to perform during the 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. time slot. We are working on getting those contracts ready to go out to our entertainers so that they are locked in for the event, and we will add them to the full entertainment lineup and have a flyer put out when that is complete. And as mentioned during the last meeting, our vendor applications are online and are available for people to fill out. We are still getting more in, and since I initially wrote this staff report, we have gotten more vendor applications in, which is wonderful. At the time of writing this, there were 3 food vendors, including Kona Ice, La Dauta's Boiled Peanuts, and 40 South, 26 merchandise vendors, and 8 nonprofits and organizations. Now, I know that the food vendors is a big hot ticket item, and everybody wants to see more food vendors. So if there's somebody that you're interested in seeing come to this event, please invite them. Please send them a link to register. Please have them talk to me if they have any questions. I'm happy to fill them in on any details that they might need. But we are still have plenty of room, and we are still looking for food vendors. So please invite anyone that you think may be interested in joining us this year.
Question, just
Yes, ma'am.
because I have someone from the art club that went through the vendor package, do you notify them that they have been approved to be a vendor?
That is the goal. Due to opening up the vendor application sooner than we normally do, and then having a few snafus along the way, admittedly, I still have to play catch up with sending out the full approvals, but everybody who has come in so far, I haven't seen any issues that we would have to say, no, we don't have the space for you. We do have enough space that so far everyone should be good to go for the event. So my sincerest apologies, and I've had to send out some notifications to folks who have reached out, be like, hey, I haven't heard from you. That is just unfortunately because there's a little bit of a backlog on
So I
sending
can
out the
just tell her
approvals.
that she's accepted.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she'll be okay. Which organization was it?
She's with the art club.
Oh, okay.
But she's having her own.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Okay, so I did have an update as far as the art club is concerned. We do have the face painters again, but they're going to only do it between 12 and 3.
Okay.
So that's 3 hours. I think that should be enough time. I mean, I think most of the last times in the morning, they didn't have very many people. People started showing up closer to lunchtime. So they will need a table and 2 chairs at least for their site. And as far as the posters are concerned, I'm dropping off the info tomorrow to the school. They're very anxious to participate. I was concerned because they're off that whole week before the Earth Day. So I think they're hoping to be able to have the posters done before they break for Easter. So that gives them less time to work on it because I have to mount them all. So that's why I was getting nervous about this. So they'll be happy tomorrow. Thank you.
Any additional comments or questions?
If there's nothing else from the board, I do want to point out that in the agenda packet, you have the Orca's Buffered Shoreline Planting Flyer. This is going to be our big volunteering event for the celebration. We're very excited about this. Now this, as we've talked about before, goes in conjunction with the Living Shoreline project that was done in, I want to say it was November now. And this will be everywhere between just the north side of that kayak launch, all the way up to that sidewalk where where there's a little bridge that connects to the rest of Riverview Park. So it'll be kind of in that area, if you can picture that. But I will be giving everyone a copy of the full event overview map at the next meeting, so you can see where everything is going to be laid out, so you have a better idea of what that will look like. But we will have 4 volunteer shifts. Orca is going to ask people to register again this year, so the link is listed here. There's also a QR code if you'd like to go to their website. We are going to invite some of the volunteers that have joined us previously for the events to come out and join us for this. And if there's anybody you think that might be interested, please do welcome them to join us. And if there is anybody who wants the PDF version of the flyer, let me know, and I'd be happy to send that out to you.
Can I ask another question?
Go right ahead. Yes, ma'am.
So as far as the people, the organizations that are here, can we access that list so that we don't, like if we know people that are in different environmental groups that might want to be interested, we don't want to badger them, but we can invite them?
I can certainly send you the list of those who have applied so
that
far.
would be great if you could do that. I think all of us have friends in other organizations that we can reach out to here as far as making it a good show. Thanks.
Any additional questions or comments? Earth Day, Arbor Day celebration coming up, Saturday, April 26th. I think we got one meeting between now and then. Is there anything you need help with at this point?
The biggest thing is making sure that we have enough vendors, particularly the food vendors, because we do have the 3 food trucks right now. One is more of a cart size than a full truck size. But I know that that was a point that everybody had, everybody was really interested in that. Everyone wanted to make sure that we have food vendors. So please, 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 if you see somebody, that seems like they might be a good fit for the event, please invite them. Please feel free to send them the link, send them whatever information they need, send them my contact information if you need to, whatever works to get them into the event. It is also worth saying that at the next meeting, we will be discussing, and I'll likely reach out at some point before then just to kind of get a feel for what everybody's thinking. But we will need to set aside our specific time blocks for when everybody is going to be and where everybody is going to be for the event. I'm assuming, Donna, you're going to be mostly with the art club for that day. So, we'll have that, you'll have that sort of designation for the event, and then we'll have that as a note for if we need to reference that. But do you have any other input on that regard?
No, the other thing that I was thinking about was as far as we have the music all covered, we have the music's all done, and are we going to do the seed packets?
That's a really good question. So does the board want to do seed packets? Because if we need to set up another work day, I'll have to make sure that we have all the seed packets ordered, and then we have that day set aside ahead of time so that way everybody can get together.
I thought we decided before that we were going to do the seed packets.
I think we are going to do seed packets.
Yes.
I didn't think we weren't not.
Yeah,
gonna do it.
I thought we said to buy some more seeds because you were out of seeds after the
Right,
last.
right. So is there, maybe this is too preliminary or too soon to ask, but I was going to ask if there was a time frame in which you all think would be the best to get together to do. And you can take the rest of this month to think about it. We can do it sometime during April if that works out to be the best. Being that Easter is in April, if that's too close to the event and too close to Easter to plan a work day, then we can try and plan for something sooner. But I would say please consider what your availability might be for everyone to get together for that work day.
Do you need to know that tonight?
No, that's what I'm saying. Just sit on it, think about it, maybe get back to me by the end of the week if you're like, oh, hey, this time frame would work.
See if we can all land on one.
Sorry?
Start sending out dates. Maybe we can get together here and we'll say no or yay. Any additional questions or comments on any of that?
I just had one.
Yes, sir.
And I thought we were going to consider the seed packets, that we would add a couple things to it. One was something along the line of seeds provided by the courtesy, or not courtesy, by the Sebastian Natural Resources Board. And then we were going to try to put our website down so that people could, they'd get the packet, which is what they want, but also we'd have our website address that they would, if they were interested in more information, they could go there.
Put the QR code on there.
Yeah. Something to push them or
Land 'em
encourage
somewhere.
them. Yeah. Yeah. That's it. Thanks.
Are there any additional comments or questions on any of that Earth Day, Arbor Day celebration coming up Saturday, April 26th, 2025? And we also looks like we're gonna have the planting is on that same day too.
Yes.
Is that right?
So
Yeah.
the buffered shoreline planting
Right.
will be that
so
day.
that'll be a lot of fun too. So we'll have a lot to do.
And I suppose it's worth saying that if any of you are interested in participating in in one of the shifts for the planting, let me know so that way we can kind of work that around your participation in the Earth Day and Arbor Day celebration as far as a official board member. But if you want to go, just join in the planting, you're more than welcome to do that.
I sent an invitation to the president. He hasn't responded yet. So I'd like to circle back and introduce our newest board member. Ms. Laura Thompson was appointed by the City Council as a regular member of the Natural Resource Board. Ms. Thompson, would you like to introduce yourself?
I think this is on. Is it working? Okay. My name is Laura Thompson. I'm a local Sebastian resident. I'm very excited to be on the board, so thank you for the warm welcome. And I'm excited to work on the Sustainable Sebastian Plan and get involved. So thank you for having me.
I think they said you work at this. I don't know what you do.
My day job, I am an environmental scientist. So I do have a background in oceanography, marine science, and I've worked on different environmental projects throughout Brevard County.
Excellent. Well, we appreciate your expertise, and we appreciate your service to the city of Sebastian, and look forward to. It looks like our newest turtle volunteer, right? Is that how it works? Right? No? Okay. But thank you for joining our board. Really
Absolutely. Thank you
appreciate
for
that.
having me.
And Charles, if you're referring to the Be a Gopher Tortoise activity, the Gopher Tortoise Alliance is willing to join us again this year for the Earth Day and Arbor Day celebration. So they are willing to handle the activity.
Yay!
So
All
we
the
don't
more
have to
the
relegate
merrier.
our newest member to handling
Yes,
that
we
activity.
do. What?
So can I just make one suggestion?
Yes, sir.
Laura's a new member, and she wasn't here when we apportioned out the various goals. So sometimes when you have a new person, it's good that they get involved right away. So maybe if she hasn't seen the goals, maybe we can, Felicia, you could make sure she's seen them all and maybe picked one or two or three or four that she'd be interested in doing.
I assumed I would be taking over for Sherida's assigned goals, so that's more than fine with me, if that's okay with everybody else.
Okay. I just want to mention too that if you'd like to assist me in some of the goals, I'd be more than thrilled to have you help us.
And you do bring up a good point that there may be opportunities outside of Sherida's goals that you'll end up participating in, Laura. So there may be other discussions to be had and other opportunities to vote on things. And say if, Matt or somebody else on the board says, hey, I need an extra hand with something, then there'd be an opportunity there as well if that's of interest to
Perfect.
you.
That sounds great. Thank you guys very much.
And thank you for participating. Okay, is there any additional input on any of that right now for unfinished business, Earth Day and Arbor Day celebration? Not seeing any. We will move on to number 9, new business. And new business looks like it consists of Earth Day and Arbor Day celebration. So it looks like we've already spoken about that. Is there any input anybody wants to put in on any of this? All right, not, anybody on Zoom or anything? Anybody?
Not at this time.
Okay, not seeing anything. If I can get a motion for adjournment?
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.